David Keener of the United States, Shin and Huang of Taiwan. After 2 days of dueling, these two are the last two standing in the All-Ages World Championship. Keener's playing Spellbooks while his opponent is playing DragonRulers. This is actually the first appearance of David Keener on stage today, so we haven't seen much of his deck yet. Keener wins the dice roll, and we are ready to start.
And this shows that everything goes in the single elimination part of a tournament like this. The US player barely made it into today as the number 8 player of the tournament, and now he's sitting in the final and is posed to win it all. Only one match removed from being world champion.
Yeah, that happens more often than you think. A lot of times, you know, when you get in at 8th place, you feel like you have something to prove, so you play a lot harder than you would normally. Keener starts out with a set card, and that's it. Looks like he didn't get any of his combo pieces early.
Or it can have the opposite effect, that you're number 8, nobody expects you from winning it, and you can just play without any pressure.
Yep. Playing on house money, why not? Huang starts off with Sacred Sword of 7 stars, this Banishing Blaster to draw 2.
Playing on house money doesn't happen in Vegas.
Special exception. Alright, he's drawn his 2. He's going to go ahead and search for Blaster to get a burner out of his deck. The best chance for Huang to win is to have a fast start and not let Keener have the turns he needs to draw towards his combo pieces.
We discussed it earlier off air. It might be worth repeating here that in this matchup, the Spellbook deck really wants to win the first game, because after side decking, what we've seen so far here, the DragonRuler deck has a little bit of an advantage.
Yep, and he's trying to press it as much as he can in game 1, because he doesn't want to go into that 0-1 hole. Starting off with reacting to summon a Redox, and now appears to be Lightning as well.
Now, does Keener have anything in his main deck to disrupt the DragonRuler duelist?
Well, he's got traps, which we've seen in the past is, you know, the Achilles heel of DragonRulers. He's got the pair of Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. He's got a pair of Phoenix Wing Wind Blasts that can send a Dracosac or other Xyz monster straight back to the extra deck. And he's got a couple Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spells. It's a counter trap that you would normally use against a Spellbook deck. You discard a spell, negate the activation of a spell, destroy it, and then your opponent can't play that spell for the rest of the duel. Obviously, really good against Spellbooks, where they need each of their cards to be usable all the time. Also has applications against DragonRulers if you hit a key spell like the Sacred Sword or Super Rejuvenation. In the meantime, Huang has summoned Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac. Or at least he's declared that he's going to do so. And Keener is going to flip Solemn Warning, and that's the first Dracosac gone. It does, however, put Keener at 6,000 life points, and there are 2 dragons beneath it. First, he's going to banish a Redox and the Dracosac to summon back Tempest from the graveyard. And this is the part where Keener has to really hope that spending all those life points early isn't going to lead to an early end of this duel. This is still in main phase 1, so if Huang can get enough dragons on the board, he could win right here.
Is that one of the reasons why we don't see cards like Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment as much anymore? Is it that DragonRulers can, or even before that, Mermails could put so much damage on the board in one turn that you can't risk it anymore?
You know, I'd say that's definitely part of it. And another part of it is that a lot of times, after you pay those life points, it doesn't really matter. Like, you stop the summon, you win that battle, but you wind up losing the war because all those monsters come right back. It looks like he, after attacking directly with both of his DragonRulers, summoned his second Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, special summoned 2 tokens, and played Super Rejuvenation.
That's a very strong start.
That's a rough blow. Fresh hand of 6 for Huang. And Keener is at very low life. I can't quite see what's going on up there. But if he can get his spellbooks rolling and start kicking out some big Spellbook of Fates, he could conceivably get back into it. I mean, Super Rejuvenation isn't the only quick play spell card that's going to put 6 cards in your hand that we're seeing in this tournament. Spellbook of Judgment is just as good at it. And it usually comes with a bunch of free searches from the rest of your spellbooks.
He has a bunch of spell cards in his hand, so he definitely has some options. The question is just, is it enough to get him out of this hole?
Yep, I'm pretty sure that I see a Spellbook of Judgment in there, but without much of a follow-up, there's not a whole lot of a reason to play it. The problem appears to be that he doesn't have any monsters. So all of the spellbooks that he might be holding that require a monster, like a Wisdom, a Power, Fate, Master, etc., aren't useful until he finds one. Now this is something that we didn't see in either of the other spellbook matches. Keener went ahead and activated Spellbook of Judgment during his opponent's turn. That's because Spellbook of Judgment counts spells that both players play, and since he doesn't have spells that he can play on his own, he's going to at least use Judgment to prevent his opponent from loading up on, Sacred Swords and Super Rejuvenations, etc.
So it's more of a defensive way to play Judgment.
Yep. Alright. Dracosac tributes itself to target face-down Book of Moon. Book of Moon isn't usable in this situation, although I'm certain that Keener wishes it was, because it would add another spell to the